I mean, if you see H2 play, he's got to play.
Grudge match of the season has taken an unexpected plot twist, folks. Omega against their old members. Against Kelra. Exort. Not Exort. E2 Max. Why not? There we go. Have sent the entire barangay against them. The veterans have come to play. How will ONIC respond in this game number 2?
Love to see already, too, you know, early rotations. This is what we were talking about in the keys
Whoa.
to victory. So they're already going for that 3-man down on the bottom side. Kelra, though, will be fine. Had to use the Purify, but will have Escalera there with him as well. So let's take a quick look at the emblems.
All right, Assassin emblem here on the Lancelot with an Impure Rage.
Yeah, that's damage.
That's just damage, of course, with the Veteran Hunter. But this fight's continuing. I'm liking how bottom lane, one of the first few moves we see from the OG lineup is aggression. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, he's going to take a lot of damage. H2O falls under that tier 2. So King Kong able to go ahead and get that first blood.
That felt like a crash, a collapse in priorities coming from Omega, because the Minotaur, at most cases, should be with the Lancelot here.
Yep.
Up against a Baxia, up against an Angela.
I guess he just overloaded. Again, I was going to say, I'm happy that one of their first few moves was actually to pressure Kelra, and that's something that any team that's against Kelra should be doing, and that's what ONIC did. They faked it down bottom and said, look, you can take down the gold standard. Oh, wait. Nope. Pressure elsewhere.
Yeah, right now, putting the pressure still on Kelra. That's probably one of the good options that they have right now, but with this turtle being up, it looks like H2O going to just go ahead and focus on these objectives. They're going to give it up for now. They still might try to put some pressure here on Kelra, but right now it might just be, let's get the buff, give up that turtle. We want to build up from here.
This is a move that ONIC PH should be very, very familiar with. This is exactly what they did in Game 1. They traded out huge objectives like the turtle for these smaller ones across the map. But now suddenly you have to consider, is Omega ready for that? Because now they have to switch up. Now they have to say, you know what, Big J? You have to find that snap. King Kong with a steal himself.
Okay, now I understand. Even though it's as if Omega gets now that, yeah, the jungle might not always be the best for H2, but our goal here is to really just stop Kelra. Delay ONIC time as much as possible. We're seeing it in the playstyle of Jome, Fighter Emblem carry. He wants to go fast up against his Claude, win gold lane immediately. But Leo, I have to kind of disagree here with Omega in the approach. They can't always just focus on the goal. There's still other parts of the map.
That's right. There's very little that they're gaining, actually. And if anything, the fact that it's Escalera on the Angela, which I'm actually happy for, and that allows for Friends to pick up the gourd, much to Naisu's pleasure. It allows for ONIC to actually send Escalera elsewhere and keep Kelra safe, even if Omega forces the issue here. Even if Omega says, you know what, we're going to keep going, 500 gold in, and now H2's in trouble again.
Oh, H2 in trouble again. Even with the execution, will get taken down in the same spot as earlier, as King Kong gets another one.
That hurts. Omega, again, focusing a lot on the gold lane. They need to get gains from this approach as much as possible, because now H2 is struggling up against King Kong, Escalera, even Super Friends.
How often is that a kill zone? How often is that a hot box in the early game for a team underneath tier 1 and tier 2? So that just shows how fragile Omega's box is right now. Yes, they had an early approach of let's pressure Kelra, but the question is how far can you take that? And we're not even considering the upper quarter. We haven't really talked about the whole Gem versus Ryota matchup.
Yeah. So far, Ryota just actually built up his War Axe.
Yep.
And usually it's a big 50-50 between these two. They both hurt, they both regen. So it's like, all right, whoever wins this lane is just straight up better.
And with that, better or not, this is going to be another objective in the hands here of ONIC Philippines. And that makes me wonder, right? When I was asking this in the draft, you see Baxia picked up first. You still go the route of picking the Lancelot into it, right? So now, not only that matchup is a little bit tougher, especially having an Angela in the hands of Escalera here, but now you're kind of a little bit behind. I mean, you see it there, right? And he's struggling to get in these objectives. So in order for something to really change here, Smart Omega has to find a pickoff, a kill, at least to keep things close together before they get to those Lord fights.
Oh, this is what we were talking about earlier. The last time H2
Oh.
played, season 11.
Oh, bottom side. Rebo going to be in trouble. Flickers out. We'll be able to survive.
Oh.
One hit away. Now Jome trying to help him. Keeping it down. Calra, though.
Oh, okay.
Okay. They got to respect the damage. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, once again, H2O. He's probably having flashbacks of that side of the turret right now.
Yeah.
Again, it's a glass house here that Omega's playing with. There's very little they're putting on the board to actually assert dominance and say, you shall not pass. This ride is only open for people of this height. No, it doesn't work like that. ONIC can actually just go wherever they want. And I'm thinking of a solution now. Earlier we were asking, how can Omega leverage this? And how can they make sure that they get into a position wherein they're actually threatening anything from ONIC? Because so far, they've taken nothing. 6 minutes in, it's actually ONIC who's actually lived inside Omega's base, rather Omega's jungle.
Yeah, well, one thing I want to see Omega try is if they spot an opportunity to even just like use their abilities to take down two, just go for it, and then just back off. Of course, find the right timing, not too soon before an objective, things like that. But they can't just try to look for a picture-perfect setup as King Kong invades.
Hard guard are we going to use? They're going to go ahead and try to get this purple buff. Fury comes down. There's the gush, forcing Rebo back. H2O goes in. Super Friends still going to be alive, though, but they have nowhere to run as they get continuously stunned under the tier 1, forced out of there.
All right, if there's ever a first kill from Omega, it's got to be from Super Friends, unguarded, and that's about it. It's so hard to take a pick off of Kelra, has a Purify, maybe Escalera. But Escalera is very rarely going to cross the river, especially as long as it's still the turtle phase, or especially until they can't confirm a kill. Because look, I've never seen Escalera actually cross the river.
Yeah, the times we'll see Escalera is him putting his ultimate onto someone, the hard guard onto someone.
Exactly.
And now I understand the dilemma of Omega, where they were, it feels like they were forced to pick the Lancelot because they needed more heroes to reach that gourd. Who we've seen in the sequences now is the big problem for Omega.
Jumping in once again, Exort has to flicker out, but will get taken down by the waves. EG comes down, the Eternal Guard there to help him in the front side, but it's not going to be enough. Kelra, though, did fall off camera to H2O, able to find a kill there in that mid lane.
So far, Omega's still solving a problem that they had faced at the 3 or 4 minute mark. And ONIC are looking forward here to this Lord coming in a minute and a half. And there's very little that Omega's bringing, very little that Omega can actually consider to do, especially since now King Kong can actually get to these buffs with very little punish. I'm wondering where H2's looking for farm. Look, he's looking for farm in lane.
Yeah, he's just grasping at straws. Oh, no, Exort.
That's tough. And that's why the gourd is so strong. Again, even under the turret, you're not safe.
Yeah, Asaka said to Zuko, that's rough, buddy. He had nowhere else to go there. It's like, it looked like at one point Exor just said, this is my fate now.
Yep. Especially knowing that he didn't have the flicker available. Now crashing down, just with the pressure alone by the drive-by. They're going to go in under the turret. Turret's going to be worked on. They're fighting for it. Rebo going to be in trouble. Flickers into the wall and will fall there under the tier 2 right now. They're struggling. Jome.
Big J.
Can he do anything, though? Escalera's going to find him, trying to get the kill. There's a flicker out, though. Jome in trouble. Gets taken out by Super Fritz.
In recent history, we've actually seen carries do that. We've seen carries take pixel brushes, river brushes, and then get maybe a 2v1 kill or any kind of trade. But not at 9 minutes, not when you're down about 3,000, 4,000 gold, and when the rest of your team are either respawning or are elsewhere inside your base. That was very risky from Jome, and again, now you're seeing maybe signs of desperation, maybe signs of communications breaking down, where Omega's just saying, you know, let's just get something.
Yeah.
ONIC now still in control, and I can see them continuing this until unless there's a big error coming from their side. Because Omega, they do not have the greatest punish power in the world. You see them, Ryota struggling already.
Armor already taken out. Again, they're just going to leave Kelra there to work on the Lord. Keeping Omega at bay the best they can till the Lord's ready for taking. King Kong goes in, gets it secured. And now ONIC Philippines, a massive lead ahead.
Kelra just picked up the corrosion site there, now has a Trinity. So he's barreling on miles ahead from Jome. Checking out that gourd here, sitting at 205, definite menace from Omega. Also has his version of the Trinity, the Tranche. the Ice Queen Wand, and the Talisman. And as if that wasn't enough, Escalera just picked up his fleeting time. So now every kill, much like Martise's Decimate, now just snowballs onto one another. So they can pick fights on fights on fights, and ults are not going to be an issue.
Wait, so the third item the Keller built was the Corrosion Scythe?
Correct.
That's what you just mentioned?
That's
Oh,
the last
interesting.
item he built.
Okay, I get it. It's because he's up against a fighter carry in that lineup of Omega. He went DHS first,
Yep.
Golden Staff, and then Corrosion Scythe last. Wow, great itemization by Kelra.
And again, it's the same matchup from earlier, but the other way around. He knows that as the carry, this is what I'm looking for. This is how I will suffer in lane. And he put that into this Claude build.
Super Frizz making it look easy, nice too.
Yep. This is one of the strengths.
Oh!
You know, you can just fire off from there. H2O going to pump out quite a bit of damage, though.
Ooh, okay.
They're going to have to respect that, but once again, the assault on the base is still going to continue top side. Eternal Guard going to jump down the gun, though! Forcing Dome to flicker as well. Thinking he was going to go down, and now Rebo takes the stun, but they hold on to the turret for now.
Big J lives, the inhibitor lives, and Omega here to see another Lord. Coming in about 80 seconds, I don't think they're in any position to contest, but at least they can breathe and, you know, sigh some bit of relief knowing that, hey, we still have our turrets. We can still kind of punish. The punish is not impossible. It's not a 0% chance.
Ooh. Something that I want to point out here that as we look at the Infinix hand cam, folks, King Kong has been really timing that shield unity whenever H2 comes in to get a moment to stun H2 before he can Phantom Execution away.
I guess he's timing it.
Yeah, he's timing it really well.
To the point wherein the margin of error is so small for ONIC that he can actually put himself in trouble first.
Yeah.
King Kong can say, you know what, I can take a few hits even from a turret just to get you.
Oh. And now ONIC, similar story to game number 1. And unfortunate for the old guard, the veterans of Barangay Omega, they're just up against, I guess that's what it takes to build a barangay family.
Yep.
Or at least break down a barangay.
Definitely a full assassin build on H2's Lancelot.
Yep.
And Exort is struggling, man. Exort is just at 2 items. And he had to build the second item winner Tranche because of how bad it's going.
Yeah, which is crazy, again, knowing how strong this Vexana pick has been so far. You know, even in other regions. And it's contested for a reason. But right now, with this Lord coming up here, Smart Omega, despite being down the 9,000, nearly the 9,000 gold, they want to be very careful on how they approach this part of the map. It might be better if they just go back.
They got to
get the
retreat.
call. Gem
going.
holding them on the front side. Lord is going to go back to being worked on here by King Kong, but Smart Omega can't even get this side of the jungle.
It's a clean take. And I guess you got to say, I understand now, as this gets to a free Lord take by ONIC, what Omega was thinking, right? It's enough peel between Rebo's Minotaur and Exort's EG, but it's a very, very dangerous way to assume that, hey, we're going to get that moment, to get that big Minotaur, Minoan Fury, and the EG timed. It's never happened here. 13 minutes in, it's never happened.
Yeah, I also really want to commend ONIC for picking up the last pick Gord. If that was a different mid laner, someone who has to get a little bit closer, not range, they wouldn't have needed to pick up the Lancelot on the side of Omega. It would have been something tanker, could have been more even.
Yep.
But since they picked a backline heavy mage, they were forced to pick a Lancelot up against a Baxia and everything else that ONIC has. So this is the story.
Oh, Super Prince taking quite a bit of damage, but
H2
H2O could be in trouble now as he might get stunned, able to get away from it.
Whoa!
But the beam comes down. Still going to survive though. Eternal Guard comes out. Terra on the backside. Goes in with a Heart Guard. Able to clean up the kill on H2. Now Smart Omega has to deal with the Lord and then the mid lane push from the rest of the team. A full force of ONIC Philippines as Rebo gets whittled down. Ryota with the last insanity to clear the waves out. They have another wave to handle here. Can they stay in the game? The base is going to be worked on though as ONIC Philippines continues to push in. But they're holding it together for now. Still King Kong with a Heart Guard going to force them back. Jome trying to clear the waves. Gets taken down as ONIC Philippines sweeps the series.